Hello everybody, I'm Maciek and today I'm honored to have this really special guest, Michael Schenker. It's an honor to be here.
High five.
An honor to see you. Alright, first of all, how was your trip to Poland and how was your return to Poland after so many years? Because you were here, I think, in 2004.
Yeah, I love Poland. It was great. We had a great flight. We started yesterday already for interviews when we arrived in the night and carried on today.
Nice. And how, which memories which moment brings you the best memories of this show in 2004 when you were in Poland, I think, for the first time? Then.
Well, I like the when we played the big arena,
yes.
the Metal Mania.
Yes.
It was an amazing building. I asked the guy, why don't you make the album cover? Because we filmed it and we released it.
Yes, I have this DVD.
Yeah, and they should have put on the album cover that arena looked like a UFO.
Yes, you know? it's called even Spodek.
Yeah,
it's UFO in Polish also one
of
the
really?
terms. Yes,
that's amazing.
Spodek Katowice. So. Yeah, and you were the last time here at November with Michael Schenker Fest. And how was the show in Poland? And are you planning
Great, fantastic, yeah. We planned on a world tour, you know, we already taking offers where people have no problem with the budget, you know, in regards to the budget. It's a big undertaking. People come from Bangkok, from Los Angeles, from England, Scotland, Italy, Germany, UK. So I told the management not to accept any offers and wait for 1 month and let the album get out, you know. Let the promoters get used to the record, maybe let it kind of do something in the charts, so that the promoters, so that we have a negotiation base, you know, so that the promoters know that you know, they can do this because it's a lot of money, you know, and getting all these people together and stuff like that. But we already have confirmed Japan, you know, and we're going to be doing 2 nights in Tokyo.
That's nice.
The International Forum Hall A holds 5,000, so it's 10,000 people, which is as big as the Budokan. And then we play 2 nights Osaka, and we're going to play A-list and B-list. So each night we play a different set. So that is already confirmed, and we are just about to confirm more things, and so we are creating.
And I think in spring, for example, in Poland, any chances?
Anyway,
in Poland,
we're working on that. You know, so we're adding, we are putting together, and so we have like. You know, you have to look at it like this. You have a big empty space. You put something there, and you put something there.
Yes, and you have to connect everything.
You have to connect everything.
Yes, and have you already chosen songs which will be included in a set list of upcoming tour? Yes.
Yeah.
How many of them? How many of them?
Well, at least one each singer.
Oh, that will be nice. And you are releasing this new CD, Revelation. It will be in like 2 days. From today, and it's I've already heard it, and it's really good CD. I really like it, but it has a sad story behind it because your dearest friend Ted McKenna passed away. And how did you feel, and was it hard to work on this album after he passed?
Well, I started first of all. You know, our last show was in September in 2018 in the UK, and we did we were, you know, talked into doing a Resurrection Part 2 in America.
Yes.
You know, which was starting in 15th of April 2019. So I saw that window where nothing was happening, so I called up Nuclear Plus and said, I'm going to write a record. Who knows when we get this opportunity to make another record, because 2050's anniversary, 2020 50th anniversary of Michael Schenker, and 2022 is the 50th anniversary of Michael Schenker joining UFO. So maybe this may be the only window where we can really do something. So I'm very glad I did it. I took the opportunity, and so I started in November. Halfway through, Ted McKenna passed away. So now what? You know, what a devastating situation. You know, but I had to pull everybody out of the pit. Say like, Ted, we will you know, Ted
We'll
is
do
going
it
to
for
watch
Ted.
us, you know, and he's going to say, keep on rocking, let's do this, Michael, you know. And so we looked at calling Simon Phillips, who is the original Michael Schenker group member. He played with Toto and Who and Jeff Beck, and so he was more than happy to do it. And then simultaneously, Bodo Schopf is offering help, you know. So wow, because we had to scrap all the guest ideas because a lot of work and it takes a lot
Plenty
of time,
yes.
you know. And so we had now that we had Bodo and Simon wasn't available for live, but Bodo was, so we put 10 songs Simon on the album, 3 songs Bodo on the album. Then I took Bodo with me to the UK and we rehearsed the heck out of the set, you know. And then by the 28th, you know, we finished we mastered, went to Nuclear Blast. 31st, we had an international listening party with international press, and by the 8th we were flying to Los Angeles. 11th, 12th we made a video. By the 15th we're standing on stage playing a 2.5 hour set. You know, it was a total of 45
huge
songs.
effort.
Yeah, but you know, it seems like I keep telling, like the last 3 albums I made, I had to deal with something, you know. The Spear on the Mission, Temple of Rock, we got 5 guitars stolen and half of the music, and I had to say, like, okay, we look at it as a pre-production, the album will be much better. And then in Resurrection, I had an infected tooth throughout the whole album. I played with pain. I played with pain throughout the whole album, you know. And then in this album, Technicolor, but we have there's bonus on there, which is the last recorded of Technicolor, which was recorded Loud Park in Japan, the 3rd biggest indoor arena in the world, and we headlined that gig with Gene Simmons supporting us. And
I remember that date.
And we recorded that, and that will be on the album. And so also there's a little bit
There's a little bit of Ted there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Ted, and Ted is also watching from heaven, you know.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And speaking of this album, which song of this album is your favorite and why?
For me, album is like there are no favorites, because I look at it completely different. You know, my life is a journey. When people say which is your favorite time in life, I don't have one. It's a journey.
It's one big part.
Yeah, it goes one step leads to the next, and they are all important steps. The good and the bad. You know, the bad are not really bad. The bad are teachers. You know?
The bad is bad at the first step, but later you think, well, it was a good move.
It was
in some way.
Exactly, because it's our teacher. Crises are teachers. They make us have to deal with something, like, you know, it's a tool. It's a tool. That's how we can develop, you know. And so it's so what was the
which song is your favorite? So we can say that the whole album is your favorite.
I look at an album as a journey that needs to be balanced. It has got interesting bits and pieces everywhere. It needs to be done in a way that it doesn't get boring. Just like you write a book, should not get boring. Just like you put together a set, it should not get boring. So there is, even the set, there is no favorite. It's just like, as long as the whole set, you end up at the end of the show, wow.
I wasn't bored even on one song, every song was awesome.
It's a bit like that, so you just want to make sure it's always entertaining.
And on your newest release, we talked a little bit about the guests. We can hear Ronnie Romero of Rainbow, of Corleone, and were there any plans to invite more guests?
Yes, there were plans, but because Ted McKenna died, we had to deal with 45 songs, 13 on the album, 32 for the Resurrection tour number 2. So, but because Bodo and Simon, you know, came in, the problem was solved, and so we were able to deal with everything. And but we had idea of having more guests, but they're very time consuming and takes a lot of work. And but Ronnie Romero, I loved the Warrior on Resurrection and Last Supper, where everybody's singing together. So I said to Michael Voss, our co-producer, this time we do 4. When we got to the 4th one, we realized it was a double bass drum. It was like, oh shit, we haven't done that before.
Oh my god, that's too much.
Yeah, before we get stuck in it, there is a guy I've worked with, Ronnie Romero, sings for Richie Blackmore. Maybe I can ask him. I said, fantastic, So he asked him, and Ronnie was happy. Yes, I do it. They went straight to work, did a fantastic job, unusual voice, unusual song, and adds another dimension on the album, to the album. And we ended up with a surprise guest, just like on the first album with Kirk Hammett. I said to Kirk, no guest, no fest. Are you going to do it? Yeah!
Nice. So you mentioned Michael Voss, maybe him, because he's a really great vocalist for me of Mad Max. Maybe he will sing on the next, the successor of this album.
Well, Michael Voss, it's like the beginning. We have been working together for 9 years now, and when a voice said inside of me in 2008, based on my middle years, what I learned about myself. I want to be on stage. I said, what? I want to be on stage. Where is that coming from? It's like a 180-degree turn, So that's when I started in the middle of puberty with Gary Barden. Then with Michael Voss, we did the first Temple of Rock, and just coincidentally, I asked Michael if he can help me as a guide vocalist. And then I found out he can sing, and so he was singing half the album. We had incredible people on this album. We had all best drummers, Chris Slade, Appies, and man, there was so much and vocalists and bass players and stuff like that. And so and then I wanted to do a world tour, and Michael wasn't available, and so I had to figure out. Ended up with Robin McCall in America, with Michael Voss in Japan, and with Dougie in Europe, and that was the beginning of Michael Schenker's Temple of Rock. Because by that time, Pete Way got sick, and I asked Francis Buchholz from the Scorpions if he wants to join. And so he was happy to do it, and that's how, and that stayed together for 4 years, two DVD, live CDs, and 2 studio albums. But the thing is that he cannot just keep adding vocalists, I mean, at some point you might only end up with like each, and first of all, I don't go ahead like that, I stay in the now. In the now, this is what we are doing. We have 4 singers,
Great singers, in my opinion.
These are the 4 singers from Resurrection, and we have Michael Voss has a special job. He writes for where everybody sings together. He is a Michael Schenker fan. He is an 80s fan. He is a Macaulay fan. He is a Graham Bonnet fan, Gary Barden fan, and he is a really he was born a little too late because he became
his first album was when he was 18. So
when he in the 90s he started to become but he wanted to be in the 80s, but somehow he doesn't understand why he wasn't born in the 80s, because that's what he wanted, And so, but I said to Michael, don't worry about it. There is a reason for everything, You wait and see, live your life. You will understand one day why.
Yes. Okay, and do you have one place that you would love to see, visit, play, but you still weren't able to do this?
Say again?
Do you have one particular place that you haven't visited, but you would love to be there, to play?
Australia, for instance. Never played Australia, but I want to be everywhere where people want to see us. It's nothing to do with countries, division, or for me it's just the music world is one world. Speaking all the same language, and the fans are all the same. They love the music, and wherever they are, I want to be able to do. But we can only come wherever people can afford us.
Yes,
course,
the worst thing is money.
Huh?
The worst thing is money.
Well,
you have to have money to do
from
everything.
Bangkok, from Los Angeles, from Germany, Italy, you know, it's a big undertaking. But the thing is, we have been together for 4 years. It's not just a cheap project, you know. We stay together. People get attached to it. People see us as and it's an unusual undertaking. We are starting to achieve a headline position, and so if you are headline position, you automatically your budget will be met. You know, so I'm hopeful. You know, I'm hopeful that it will work out.
All right, so we have to ending in I don't know 10 minutes. If you have to pick a favorite thing about Polish people, you weren't here that much, but if you have to pick one thing about Polish people and staying in Poland, what it will be?
Food.
Food? Okay, and do you know any Polish bands? Not only typical hard rock, heavy metal, but at all? Not really.
I'm sorry to say that I stay away from the scene. I haven't listened to music since I was 17. I haven't copied anybody since I was 17. Brain is like a sponge. Everything the brain absorbs, you automatically use. My focus is pure self-expression, so I have to protect myself.
For being accused of plagiarism or inspiration, and you didn't want to. Yes.
Well, I need to protect myself in order to get the uniqueness out of myself. We all are unique people, so you can either join a trend and be part of the commercial money-making gobble machine, or you can be an artist and realize that we are all unique and that there's something inside of each person that nobody knows about. So if I open up and let that out, then it will be something new. And so the people like Slash and Kirk Hammett and Def Leppard and Iron Maiden, you know, they said like they never heard anything like that before. Of course they can't have heard, because it was coming from here. It wasn't coming from that trend that everybody was copying.
Yeah, and that's magical. All right, and my last question, quite weird, goofy. If you were the dinosaur, the real dinosaur from the past, from millions years ago, would you be a carnivore or herbivore, and why?
Would I be a what?
Carnivore or herbivore one?
What's that mean?
Would you like to eat meat or no?
Meat or
not non-meat?
Or vegetable
dinosaur.
Well, you know, if I think about it, eating meat is actually, if I was a dinosaur, you know, but I'm comparing that with me being a modern dinosaur today, you know. If you're I've been vegetarian 3 times in my life, each time for 5 years, and so, eating meat helps me to stay skinny. So if I was a dinosaur, I wouldn't have a problem with being skinny or fat, and I probably would eat vegetables.
Yeah, and be a brontosaurus with a long neck, yes. Alright, so I think that's all by now, because the time is running out. Alright, so once again, thank you very much for letting me do this. And
high five.
Yes, and see you next time in Poland in some show.
Take care.
Thanks
Keep
for
on
watching.
walking.
See you next time.